All right, let's talk about something that is absolutely critical in the world of AI. How do we make sure that the large language models we're building are actually helpful and not, harmful?
Let's just start with a simple but kind of scary question. What happens if the AI you're depending on just lies? And believe me, from there, the stakes get a whole lot higher, real fast.
For instance, what if it gives you instructions that could get someone seriously hurt?
Or what if it just spits out your most private, personal information for anyone to see?
And then there's the big one. What if it starts generating toxic, hateful language? Look, these are not just hypotheticals. These are the core, real-world challenges that developers are wrestling with every single day.
All of this really boils down to what you could call the AI liability problem. See, when an AI isn't properly controlled, it stops being this amazing tool and instantly flips into a massive risk for the companies that build it and for you, the person using it.
And the scope of that risk is, well, it's huge. We're talking about everything from harassment and straight-up hate speech to giving up bogus medical or legal advice. It can create extremist content, leak your personal data, and even reinforce ugly stereotypes. So the bottom line is, we need a plan.
And that plan has a pretty cool name, Defense in Depth. I want you to think of it like building a fortress, like a medieval castle. You wouldn't just build one wall and call it a day, right? No way. You'd have a moat, an outer wall, an inner wall, and guards posted everywhere. Each layer adds more protection.
So the textbook definition of defense in depth is a strategy that uses multiple, overlapping security measures. And the key idea here, the really important part, is that no single layer is perfect. But when you stack them all together, you create this comprehensive shield that's way, way stronger than any one piece by itself.
In our AI fortress, we've got 4 main layers. We start with the basic rules of the road, the system prompts. Then we add some automated guards with moderation APIs. Next up, we bring in the specialists with custom filters and classifiers. And finally, the last line of defense, the ultimate backstop, a human reviewer. Let's break down how this actually works.
So those first 2 layers, they form our automated pipeline. This is the stuff that runs in the background every single time a user interacts with the AI. It's our fastest, first line of defense against bad content.
It all kicks off the moment you type in a prompt. Before the AI model even sees your question, a system scans it for anything malicious, like something called prompt injection, which is basically a fancy term for trying to trick the AI into ignoring its own safety rules.
Okay, once the input is checked out and deemed safe, it gets sent to the large language model. The LLM does its thing and generates a response. But, and this is a big but, that response doesn't go to you yet.
And this part is absolutely non-negotiable. Before that text ever shows up on your screen, it has to pass through another safety filter. This is a system's last chance to catch any harmful stuff the AI might have accidentally created.
What's really cool is that putting this first layer in place is actually pretty straightforward. All the major AI providers offer simple moderation APIs. That means a developer can add a super powerful pre-built safety check with just a few lines of code, basically getting a quick thumbs up or thumbs down on any piece of text.
But look, a general-purpose API isn't going to catch everything. For that, we need to move to the next layer of our fortress, the specialized guards. These come in the form of custom rules and more advanced classifiers.
Think of it this way. A standard API is like casting a wide net. It's great for catching the common, obvious problems. But a custom rule is like a spear. It's for targeting very specific things. By using something called a regular expression, which is just a way to describe a search pattern, a developer can hunt for the exact format of a phone number or an email address, stuff you definitely don't want an AI leaking.
And that kind of data has a specific name, PII, which stands for Personally Identifiable Information. Basically, it's any data that can be traced back to a real person. And let me tell you, protecting PII isn't just a good idea, it's often a legal requirement. It's non-negotiable.
Now, beyond just matching simple patterns, we can get even smarter. We can actually use machine learning to build up our defenses. We can train custom classifier models that are designed to spot much more nuanced problems, things like subtle toxic language, bad financial advice, or content related to self-harm that a general API might completely miss.
But even with the absolute best automation in the world, some situations are just too high stakes to leave up to a machine. And that brings us to our final, and you could argue our most important layer of defense, the human-in-the-loop system.
This is where people become the ultimate safety net. In really sensitive areas like medicine, law, or finance, the system can be designed to say, whoa, I'm not 100% confident about this one. It then flags that content and sends it to a human expert to review before any final decision is made. It's a critical step.
A big part of this system is also how you communicate with the user. If a response gets blocked, just showing a generic error message is confusing and frustrating. A well-designed system actually explains why the content was blocked and gives you a way to appeal if you think it was a mistake. That's how you build trust, even when the AI has to say no.
So, to wrap this all up, here's a final safety checklist. You've got your recommended layers, like using a provider's moderation API and having a human-in-the-loop system, but some of these are absolutely mandatory, like a PII detector and defenses against prompt injection. And for all the legal and compliance reasons, a solid logging and audit trail is always required. No excuses.
This really gets to the very heart of the issue. The power of these AI systems is just incredible. But like it says here, power without control is simply risk.
Ultimately, all this stuff, moderation, safety, defense, and depth, these aren't just optional features you can add on later. They are the bedrock, the absolute foundation of any AI that you'd actually want to trust. Building this way from the start isn't just a good idea, it's the only way to do it right. The real question isn't if we should build these walls, but how high and how strong we need to make them for the AI that's coming next.